I turned 34 this summer.
You didn't. Oh my God.
I'll tell you where that parking lot is. That's where the K3 comes in.
Mine's 50
Okay.
next week.
That's the yellow. King Yellow River. It's public agriculture.
For some reason, we've got a
They got a boat launch on the
camera today. Oh.
ditch already, but
So now how do I get?
this project has.
Is there
to be on the Yellow River.
Now that you've got it going on YouTube, you can actually just close YouTube. And
Which I go to
the
the
big
X.
in the very top right. Wow, that's a delay. Oh, look at the green on you.
I know, fluorescent.
Right, I'm logged into another Zoom meeting and I think they forgot to turn the Zoom on.
Tammy, one more thing.
Yeah.
Sarah said that she needs to get with you to get those or the job descriptions and applications on Indeed. Have you been able to do that?
I haven't gotten them on Indeed yet.
Please, can God get some accident?
I'm working with Sarah on getting that going. It's
Okay.
she's gotta be the one that's in charge of.
Yeah, but she said you had to get something from Rachel.
Yeah, I got it.
You got it? Okay, thank you. Appreciate that.
Ready? We're going to color. We could survive it. Looks like you guys are all wearing pink.
Yeah.
And then don't forget, Angelina, turn the microphones on with the switch there.
Oh, turn them on?
Yeah,
Like,
I did already.
oh, okay, thanks.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Okay, thanks for coming. There were a couple of members that not present tonight, but we've got three, so I think we can go ahead. We're here to award the bid for the English Lake Kayak Project. I assume everyone here knows what's going on with that. We received two bids.
Thank you.
One from Hill Excavating and the other one from the Stanger Group. The Hill Excavating bid was $52,493.52. Stanger Group bid was $62,600. We have $25,000 in the park board has been designated specifically for kayak launch sites, so it has to be spent on a kayak launch site. Now Kathy unfortunately can't be here tonight, but she had talked to Mr. Bill Craze. And Mr. Craze is from the Kankakee River. I still the whole river. Yeah, the Yellow River Basin, anyway. And he assured her that if the park board came up with 35,000, that his entity would provide the rest of the funds in order to do the launch out at in English Lake. So we're here tonight to award the bid, and the recommendation is that we accept the Hill Excavating bid. No?
No, we had to look at the alternative bids to come up with the low bid. And the low bid is actually the Standard Group of 47,986 to do all timber.
Right,
And
that was looking at the different alternatives, right?
What's that?
That was looking at the different alternatives within the bid.
Oh,
I ended up getting the lowest.
Okay.
So it's what, 47?
$47,986.
Oh, okay.
That's the base bid. Less item number 8. And including alternate number 2, which is in your. The letter.
Okay. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So we're gonna award the Stanger Group the bid. $1,986. Is there a motion to go forward with that?
I would make a motion that we award the kayak launch for English Lake to the Stenger Group for the amount of 47,986.
986.
Contingent on those additional funds coming in from the group that we just mentioned, the Yellow River.
Additional funds coming in from Kathy's.
Yeah, Kathy's gonna try and get additional funds from that group too. To cover the shortfall.
Does that cover it?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
The only other thing to that is, I think he decided to go with the Stanger Group. Hill Excavating had their bid bond was in the form of a check, so if it's okay with you guys, I'll just have him pick his bid bond up from my office.
Okay.
That's right there.
That works.
Is that all right?
That's fine. Okay, so that takes care of that. And then I have on the agenda discussion on a long-term solution to the campground lift station. I don't know, Angelina, I don't.
I could just weigh in on a little bit just to get us current. I have sent emails to all of you guys that I spoke with Tanner from the FJF. His recommendation was for an ABS brand pump. He suggested that his turnaround time would be a lot longer than if we were to call Rensselaer to see if they could acquire one of the ABS pumps. The last I heard from Watermark, I have not heard anything since Dave took those pumps to Rensselaer to go to Watermark. Obviously, they told me there would be at least a 30-day turnaround. However, there is the likelihood that what's his name now? I can't think of his name. Brad will turn around and say, we're just going to give you your money back. They've already warranted one pump, brought it back, it broke a week later. My impression from talking to them at Watermark that they may not repair and return those pumps. They may just issue a credit, which puts us back to ground zero.
Well, I thought he said that, what's the FJF?
FJF,
Yeah, I thought they said the turnaround would be 2 weeks.
if we could get
If we do-
them from, if we could get Rensselaer to get them, perhaps they could get one and turn it around in 2 weeks, one pump.
Right, well, I would say we do that, at least initially, so that we're not paying this pump out all the time.
And the cost of one pump is $4,351 with $800 installation.
I think Don was willing to call Watermark too. I mean, no offense to this other company, but we go through this with our radio system. We have Kenwood radios now. The Motorola company always tells us our problem is because we have Kenwood radios and then we get it fixed.
Right.
So I mean, I think Don's willing to call in parallel to this, call Watermark and say, hey, you guys should loan us another pump, but if they'll give us our money.
Well,
back, that'd be
they
great.
don't have one to loan. That was our first approach was, can you please get us something in the interim quickly because of the
Well-
amount of money that we're spending pumping out?
You're talking about Watermark.
Yes, Watermark said they do not have anything available.
Right.
Then I went to FJF. FJF said they do not have a temporary pump. So again, we're already at $12,650 in pumping fees.
I think we should go with the FJF.
Yeah.
And that's an
Do
insulator.
they have a pump?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
So they can get the ABS pump and they could try to turn it around in 2 weeks, but we're looking at, like I said, an expenditure of $4,351 plus their $800 for installation.
What's up? The pumping.
Our pumping right now is at $12,650. Yesterday was,
Coons Lake deals with E1 high capacity pumps for all their systems up there.
Mm-hmm.
They deal with Asbury. I think they're out in Rochester or someplace, Asbury that services everything. And when I designed, when we had the system designed, because I was on that board, I had a building built that specifically was to be used for, you could test, you could pull a pump out, you could test it or fix it. And we had 5 or 6 extra pumps on the shelf to replace the pump that failed. And then once they fixed the other pump, they put that on the shelf to have an alternate pump. So, but now that whole system now is, Pretty Lake uses it, all these other lakes that use E1 pumps. Use the Coos Lake facility that I designed for that purpose. And Asbury just is in charge of all those. So you might wanna contact them. You might get a deal on a new pump, but you might get a deal on a used pump that you can pull the other one and have that fixed if they're this compatible pump.
What's the name of the company, Bob?
Asbury. Astbury. I don't have all their information, of their contacts.
You say they're out of
I'm
Rochester?
not entirely sure.
Now, they're a service company or they are a manufacturer?
They're a pump. Well, they're a pump
Distributor?
service
Okay,
company. I mean, they service all the pumps that it's like there's hundreds of them. And they do Pretty Lake and I'm sure they're gonna do the new system at Marshall County too. So they're a pretty big company.
do you have a name there by any chance, a contact?
It used to be Dan Fox. Big guy.
Okay, big guy.
I don't know if he still does, he's really good on the operations, man. I can get you that information, but I just don't.
That'd be wonderful. You could either text it or email it. I think that the big thing is we were very fortunate. Like I said, today was the very first day since July the 4th that we've not had a pump out. That's because the groundwater's dried up. Obviously, we get any rain, we're right back to where we are. So until we figure out a way to mitigate the problem of that groundwater coming in,
Right.
we're doing another Band-Aid here.
Yeah,
Could we then, so we don't have to have another special meeting, is to go ahead and say, get this pump unless that avenue comes in cheaper and it's a compatible pump. I'm not sure who decides whether the pump that Asbury,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, I have-
does is compatible.
I have all the stats on the pumps that we currently have.
Yeah, you know
And
what
I
kind of
can-
pump You need.
Yeah, I have that. If they were to call and say, okay, we're gonna compare, in my opinion, we're gonna compare FJF to Asbury to what Watermark may have. I mean, do we want a third pump from Watermark that has continued to fail for us?
No, I would rather go with the FJF unless this other avenue works, because they said they can get it in 2 weeks.
Especially if they give us our money back. I mean, the one thing
Well,
about it.
unless the other company would
If
get the
you only
money back.
spent 10,000 on pumps, let's just say that's
Yeah.
the number.
Right.
And if it's because we don't have thermal protection or something, they're willing to warranty them, but they say you have to put thermal protection. It would still make sense to spend a couple $100 for the thermal protection.
Well, sure.
Which is the pump that the FJF is recommending.
I'm recommending
We
it's
have an
4,000
internal
something. Is the thermal protected.
But I'm saying if you don't get your money back from the other pumps, but they're willing to fix them or warranty them, you still have those, like it would be
Yeah,
cool not to
yeah,
use those.
Right, yeah, you would use those as well, yeah, because we know those are compatible.
Then I guess I'm gonna ask the board, can you tentatively approve an expenditure of $4,351 for a pump, ABS pump, unless contingent upon
Right.
seeing that Asbury may come in, so we can get something in the ground rapidly?
Yeah, as long
Then
as,
work on mitigating the problem.
but that's really, they don't do the installations or any of that either though, right? Could we at least have the LJF verify that the pump we're getting from Asbury is
These
compatible?
guys do the ones that.
Do they install them too? Huh?
Yeah, they
Oh, so they would install them?
they pull them, they clean them, they fix them.
Okay.
Back in the-
Oh, well.
All right,
Because we can't really wait for another meeting, we can't call another special
No,
meeting.
no,
I'm trying to find the contract.
no. I make a motion that we allow Angelina to make a decision of getting a pump at the lowest price possible to replace the pumps that are not working, and at whatever company she decides is the best deal for us, okay, and quickest.
Quickest and the best deal,
You wanna say not to exceed the.
I wanna say we need to not
Yeah,
to
not to
exceed
exceed
it.
43, what is it, 4,300 and?
The ABS pump came in at $43.51,
Yes.
plus your $800 installation.
So we're really at 5,000, a little over 5.
Yeah, we're a little over, I'd say not to exceed 55, because,
51.
Yeah. Okay,
so what's your not to exceed price?
52, be safe.
Okay,
All right, is there a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And
He was expensive anyway.
And you'll get the information.
I'll get the information from Bob. I will call them tomorrow morning.
All right. Anything else we need? Yes.
Well, this longer term thing is a longer term issue. I don't think we're sure not gonna decide any of that
Well,
tonight,
yeah, I
but
know.
I know that you and Don and Jack were
Were
talking.
you here the other day when Tom was? So here's what's going on. There's a couple things. I'm not sure who, but some think that maybe the tile going on the road is plugged or cracked.
Correct, something.
And so, Sam talked about this, about the possibility of running a camera through there, so that's, Tom's looking into that, because the county should fix that, the drainage board.
Mm.
Now, the problem is, we looked at the elevations, the elevation at the lake is 716. The elevation back at the beginning of the tile is 713. So there's a problem there, I mean, you don't need a big slope, but you need to have some fall to be able to get out there, so the other thing that we're looking at is, should the county add, or should the drainage board add a lift? Should they maybe just raise the one end? So he's looking into all of it now and asking around. There's also a discussion of, because actually it's supposed to take on water from the lake and put water back in the lake too. So maybe modernizing that a little bit too, more of a bowl system where it collects some water and pushes it back in. But right now, the problem is the water level on the lake's higher than our land.
Well,
So-
and it's funny to mention that too, because as Troy over had contacted us. They emailed you, because I had told him to email you, because he called me, Mike Reese called me, and they were wanting, as part of the grant, to put a camera down
Good.
the sewers as well, so maybe.
Maybe we can work together on that.
Right.
At the very least, Tom's on it,
But-
so.
And I wasn't aware of that until he called me the other day. And
That's great news
yeah, I
because
suggested to him to go ahead and email the board and let them know that, they want to come in our next August meeting to talk about the grant, give us an
if
update.
you remember 2 years ago, we had Hill Excavating come out and try to do a camera and they couldn't even get 3 inches in because it was so plugged. So-
At least I remember being able, even if there is crack tile, sometimes that in situ form, I don't know if you've ever heard of
No, you're
that.
right, actually, I
That-
misspoke. The discussion also is to jet it as we're going also, because the county owns a fire truck.
Right,
So Tom's gonna try to get that set up to where we can get in there and run the hose through there and jet that through to see, and then run the camera through, because yeah, they're probably not gonna.
right, no, but there's also companies that actually put, if it's not too damaged, they can put a liner in
Yeah.
without having to, you know what I mean? Without having
That's
to go through.
one potential option too, rather
Right.
than having to
Dig up
horizontal
everything.
bore under that road, that
Right.
could be, a lot of
Right.
money.
Yeah, I think in the long term, we're gonna have help from the county to
Yeah.
solve
Oh,
that.
yeah, we have that, though, yeah.
Yeah, well, and I think we should put it on the drainage board first if we can, because they have, funds and they have, abilities that are outside of, the regular.
Wherever,
So who-
wherever we can get the help.
Who's gonna take the lead on that? Because if we continue to just talk about it and we get another pump, we're gonna burn that pump out. We're gonna constantly be doing this. We need to get an action plan and get it in action and hopefully get the support of whether it be the drainage board, the council. As far as the financial help that we're gonna need to.
Motion.
I would just say who's ever doing that initial look, that we at least keep Troy in the loop.
Okay, yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
Right.
Well, we'll make.
Mike
sure-
Reese, yeah.
You want Tom to be kind of the pivot person on that?
My
or-
brother.
All right, so then we'll let him funnel it through and, share whatever we can share with everybody, but have Tom be kind of a
Right.
point on that so we don't forget stuff like that.
Alright,
Sounds great. Anything else we need to talk about
I
too?
don't think so.
Not on the record.
No, I just said we have an audience, so if there's any questions.
No, we'll wait for D'Angelo to let.
I gotta go to another meeting.
Alright, the non-big motion we adjourn.
Okay, is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Very good.